Hi everybody and welcome to this week's Tune In Tuesday. This week I'd like to talk about something that I feel particularly passionate about, but I worry that it's not even considered a form of litter sometimes or plastic pollution in the ocean. This is of course cigarette butts. Now cigarette butts are a big problem because 95% of them are made out of plastic fibres. But not just this. Inside these cigarette filters are all sorts of chemicals like lead and arsenic which leach into the environment. All it takes is one cigarette butt to make 1 litre of seawater toxic for fish. Some of you might remember in the film Finding Nemo, Gil said all drains lead to the ocean, and he's not far from the truth there. The stormwater drains that you see for rainwater quite often lead into rivers and onto the beach and into the ocean. And this is one of the biggest sources of cigarette litter ending up in the ocean. There was quite some staggering research undertaken by Keep Britain Tidy's Bin the Butt campaign, and it came back with some really scary results. It was found that 39% of smokers, which equates to 3.6 million people in the UK, admit to throwing a cigarette butt down the drain within the last month. It also found that 22% of smokers thought that this was acceptable, and that 11% of smokers do not consider cigarettes as litter. So obviously it's a massive problem that we need to tackle. But what I'd like to do today for today's Tune In Tuesday is head down to the beach and see the extent of the cigarette butt problem down there. So let's go see how many we can find. Down the whole of Trianon there, and as you saw there was quite a few cigarette butts, which is no real surprise. I think what's happened in the storms and the high winds is that a lot of the sand's been blown up the beach and it's covered most of the seaweed, but I managed to get quite a lot of other bits of plastic litter, so I'm going to head over to Harlyn now and see the extent of the cigarette problem there. Okay, so I just got back from the beach, and as you saw, I found 68 cigarette butts. Now, some of you might think that this is quite a lot, considering at the start I said all it takes is one cigarette butt to make 1 litre of seawater toxic to fish. But when I think back to our Marine Conservation Society surveys last April, on just 100-metre stretch, we were finding up to 200 cigarette butts, which is really, really scary to think that there is that much out there in our marine environment, and it desperately needs protecting and some change coming. So I think all that can be suggested is that people just need to be more cautious and respectful and considerate when thinking about different kinds of litter. And also, if you are a smoker, then carry around a portable ashtray and dispose of your cigarettes properly. Thank you so much for watching this week's Tune In Tuesday video, and as always, if you have any comments that you'd like to make, please put them below. See you next week for next week's episode.